we got a call. Matt's off-road recovery style. Got a dead Dodge. Nothing but straight pipes around here. Well, you guys might remember this one. It's the same 2011 Ram 2500. We just put the wind module in. Also had a bad brake hose that caused the caliper to seize up. I've got another video about this truck too, where it had a injector driver wire short to one of the throttle position sensor wires, I think, and the engine would get stuck at 1200 RPM or something. Anyway, this thing's kind of a lemon. I put a power steering pump on it. I replaced the HVAC module once. He has nothing but problems with it. Doesn't even have 100,000 miles on it. Anyway, he told me that, I guess, it cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked, and then it finally started. And then he got, I don't know, a mile down the road and it just died. So he pulled in the parking lot here. Ironically, this used to be a dealership. Not a Dodge dealership though. Anyway, let's see what she does. Starts right up. Okay, well, that's interesting. And of course it's running fine. I don't see anything here that's going to help us. Still says brake fluid level low. Cooling fan, ignition circuit, secret key mismatch, invalid key, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't see anything here that says why it would die. No powertrain codes. Okay, I guess we're going for a drive. Well, other than not knowing how people ever get used to this Dodge steering, I don't see any problems. About halfway back to the shop, it hasn't missed a beat. Yeah, it ran perfectly. I have no idea what's wrong or the slightest clue how we can fix it. Could be a bad fuel pump, could be a bad relay, could be a crank sensor or cam sensor, stuck open purge valve, stuck EGR valve, you just never know. Ooh, what's that? That was a thing that just happened. Interesting. That's diabolical. How could it drive all the way here and then screw up in the parking lot? Okay, let's grab some starting fluid, see if we can get her to pop on that. Yeah, it's got to be a fuel problem. Come on. Alright. Well, it wasn't too hard to figure out. Except we don't know what the actual problem is. This is a 2011. Does it have a TIPM? This could be a classic TIPM fuel relay problem. So we better figure that out. This gizmo is for the snowplow. Underneath is a fuse box, but it's not like a normal fuse box. This is a TIPM, a totally integrated power module. And it's like a lot of things from Chrysler. It would have been a great idea if it would have worked, but these things are notoriously unreliable. So the problem is, if you look on the wiring diagram here, the fuel pump relay, see where it says on PCB? That means that it's actually soldered to a circuit board on the bottom side of that fuse box, and it's not serviceable, at least not for the average person. Well, there's a fuse, M25. I guess we better check for power there and see if that is the problem, but my money's on that little guy. Did it come on at all? I didn't see it. Okay, well, doesn't seem to be very happy. Need to find fuse M28. Should share the same power feed as the one we were just on. So we were on M25, here's M28. Of course, they're in no logical order. There it is. Alright, so we know we have power available. It's just not being turned on by that relay. Well, I'm wondering, instead of cycling the key, if I can just bidirectionally control the fuel pump. Let's see. I'll just turn it on. I heard something click. Yeah, definitely heard it click. I'm on the right fuse, aren't I? Yeah, M25. Let's go to toggle. Yeah, so everything else is working fine. No output. Okay. Is it a straight pipe bull hauler? You know it, Purple Peterbilt. What other kind is there? All right, folks. I know our usual diagnostic process is a little more exhaustive / exhausting, depending on your perspective. But I don't see any reason to go any further. This thing needs a TIPM. I mean, there's just no other way. We can hear the relay clicking. We know the control's got to be good. The coil side of the relay is good. The load side of the relay, it shares a feed with several other circuits. Those circuits are fine. So the problem is isolated just to the fuel pump relay. Yeah, it's totally dead now. I can't get it to do anything. I'm not sure how we were able to drive it back to the shop. Guess we just got lucky. Anyway, I called the dealership and I purchased the last TIPM left in the country. Yeah, they're pretty proud of these things. Actually, there's a bunch of problems with these TIPMs as far as replacing them goes. They fail all the time. They're extremely expensive. They're normally back ordered. Now, even before COVID, these things were always back ordered. And as far as replacing it, you have to program it, so it's not really a DIY friendly job. There are other options. You know, the usual players, Cardone, Dorman, they sell rebuilt TIPMs. Nobody had one in stock. I did check. There are also companies that will rebuild them for you, Circuit Board Medic and other companies. If you have time, you can send it to them. They'll fix it, send it back to you. That costs, I don't know, $500, $600, something like that. A new one from the dealership, list price is about $1,600. So, yeah. Make sure the customer's sitting down when you tell them it's going to cost them $1,700, $1,800 to replace their fuel pump relay. As far as fixing the TIPM ourselves, I have seen people crack these things open and unsolder the relay and replace it. We could probably do that. I've never done one. The problem is, you know, here in the shop, I can't offer a warranty on that. Plus, these TIPMs have all kinds of other problems. You know, you lose your tail lights or your wipers or your horn or, you know, God knows what. So even if we fix the fuel pump problem, you know, later down the road, it's probably going to have other problems. Plus, this truck's, what, an 11, so it's 11 years old. It's probably going to be pretty green and crusty under there. So there's a chance that once we take the thing apart, we're going to pull a pin out or something. And yeah, it's not a good situation. I have also seen people just cut the input wire from the PCM and wire in an external relay or even a toggle switch. You know, if it's just some old beater, that's probably a pretty viable repair. This guy wants it back right away, and he wants it fixed right, I guess. So we're going to install a new one from the dealership, and we'll move on. While we're here, these have the same problem as the Chevys. The critters get under the box and build nests and cause all kinds of problems. Okay, part numbers match. So in with the new. Yeah, we'll have to figure out this fuse tab. Battery's hooked up. A little noisy here today. Alright, I think this thing should run. Cool. What do you think, pup? You all tuckered out from killing mice? 5 in one day. Wrecked a whole family. Alright, so the truck runs, which means we made the right call. We do have some problems. So we have a bunch of U codes. U0151, lost communication with occupant restraint controller. I believe that is because the TIPM is not configured correctly. So the baseline works, it allows the engine to run, but we need to program in the specific stuff to get rid of these codes. We're going to try to program this TIPM. I want to warn you guys, I am not an expert about flash programming. I don't do a lot of it, and the little bit that I do, I struggle with. So we had to have a J2534 pass-through device. This is the one I have. It's made by DrewTech and sold by AE Tools. We then have to go to techauthority.com and create an account. That will lead us to stellantisiop.com, where we create another account. That then leads us to Mopar TSP, where we create another account. Then we can finally buy the things we need to buy to program a Chrysler. Now this is actually the newest Chrysler I've ever tried to program. I'm pretty sure, 2011. So to program this guy, we had to have 3 things. We had to buy a YTech subscription. That is the factory scan tool. You can either buy a 3-day subscription to any VIN number for $50 or a 1-month subscription to a single VIN number for $40. Then we also have to buy a Tech Authority subscription. That's their factory service data. And we also have to buy an ECU flash subscription for $35. That's only good for a single VIN number. Why you have to buy a Tech Authority subscription to do flash programming, I don't know, but that's the way it is. So depending on how you set it up, it's going to cost you between $110 and $130 to program a single VIN number. And believe it or not, that's still cheaper than sending it to the Chrysler garage and having them program it for me at $180 an hour. Anyway, I have also registered my J2534 device on this website. That takes, I don't know, 24 hours or something. We have to download the YTech software, which you can find under the support section here. Down at the bottom, it'll say download J2534 application. You also have to install the software for your JBox if it's not a YTech or a Micropod or whatever Chrysler's approved system is. Anyway, I think I've got all the stuff that I need. So we're going to go here to YTech 2.0. I'm going to have to sign in with my Okta account. The fourth account you have to set up. It's quite a process. Okay, so under the dashboard, where you would normally assign the subscription to your flashing device, you can't. Can you not do that because you have a VIN subscription?
Correct.
Okay, so you have to do it from inside YTech?
Yeah, it needs to be assigned to the VIN.
Okay, and then hit activate. Okay. Well, I guess we're in. All right, thank you, sir. Yep, bye. Okay, well, that was helpful. I had to call tech support. This is my first time using a VIN-specific YTech subscription, so it's a little bit different. Normally, on your dashboard, under devices, you would be able to click here and then click on subscription and choose the 3-day subscription that you bought. But I guess with the VIN specific one, it's different and you have to do it from inside the YTech software. Anyway, yeah, we should be okay now. Okay, so let's see what our DTCs are. Yeah, so we still had that U0151 code. So we might not have to program this. Might be able to just go here and reconfigure it. And we still have this problem. Alright. Well, I don't know. So the only flash that's available is for the ITBM, which is the integrated trailer brake module. It's not giving me a flash for the TIPM. And if we come in here, that is the correct part number. And I believe that is the correct calibration. So it would appear that we do not need to flash program the TIPM. I don't know why we have this U0151 code. This one we've had forever. I don't remember this one from the last time I worked on it. So let me see if there's a different cause for that, but it seems that we jumped the gun. We don't have to program this module. Okay, the problem here is that I'm stupid. So the U0151 code is a lost communication with the occupant restraint control module. See this red guy right here? That's the occupant restraint control module. Red means that it's offline. And if we go to it, it can't find anything. It's unresponsive. That's my fault. Let me show you why. Yeah, in the TIPM / fuse box, M16 is the ORC. You guys can't read it, but I can. And if you look right here, M32 and M16, that guy right there. Got to push that down. I believe that's for a parasitic draw. If you want to store the truck for a long period of time, you got to pull that guy out. Pretty classic Chrysler trick. Anyway, let's see if we can clear that code now. That was stupid. We're rescanning. Hey, we got an ORC online. Let's go to our codes. Let's clear our codes. Boom, we're back to just our brake brake fluid level low. Cool. All right, well, that was my fault. So we did not need to program the TIPM, although I think that resetting the vehicle configuration was a good idea. Also, I think buying the YTech subscription was a good idea. Just having this topology here really speeds up the diagnosis. Cool. Yeah, we're not going to bother to reprogram this trailer brake module. So we'll save our flash programming slot for the next guy. And we are done. All right, folks. If you thought for 1 second that I wouldn't take a Dremel tool and cut a slot in the side of a brand new $1,600 fuse box, you are sadly mistaken. That is what the customer asked for, and that is what he's going to get. If it makes you feel better, it did crush my soul just a little bit. Almost as much as knowing that none of these piggyback fuse taps are rated for more than 10 amps. But that's okay. If it hasn't burned down in 11 years, probably isn't going to. And at this point, that might be an improvement. I also cemented the Velcro back onto the lid. Reattach our isolation module 3-port, and we are done. Well, I better update my Chrysler bingo card. Random wire short open, yeah, definitely had that. Brake hose, definitely had that. Wind module, definitely had that. Uh-oh. TIPM. Bingo, baby. I'm a winner. What happened to my fan favorite crickets? Maybe it's too cold for them. All right, folks. Not sure what to say about this one. I thought we were going to get something a little more juicy than just a bad TIPM. And if I had known that's what we were going to find, I never would have gotten out the camera. But too late now, I guess. As far as what we learned, I have no idea. Don't buy a Dodge, I guess, or at least don't buy that Dodge. Yeah, I mean, in Chrysler's defense, not that they deserve it, I'm seeing a lot of this stuff, across the board. The average vehicle I work on is somewhere between 10 and 12 years old, so I'm really starting to get into those post-recession vehicles built from 2009 to 2012, and they're just garbage. They're much worse than the vehicles that were built before them. They rust worse, the wiring is terrible. Plus, that's right when they were really ramping up all the module networks and having the big screens on the infotainment system. They were doing lead-free solder. Plus, you had a bunch of new emissions regulations that kicked in about that time. So it's just a perfect recipe for unreliability. And honestly, if you can get to a vehicle that was built like 2013 and newer, they're quite a bit better. That was a rough 3 or 4 years right there. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.